Hi guys, my name is Laura Moseley. I'm the Director of Children's Ministries here at Church of the Savior. And you guys might recognize me from the children's videos that we used to do on Sunday morning. But today I want to talk to you about invitation. And if you've been following us along the last several weeks during worship, you'll know that this is the last week for our Habitology series. So we've been talking about our core practices of discipleship here at COTS. Worship, grow, serve, give, and invite. And I want to talk to you today about invitation and what that might look like for you and what that might not look like. And when I started to reflect on this for myself in my own experience, I started to realize that there were more people in my life who had been barriers to accepting Christ and living that life than there were people who were being truly inviting. Then there were people who were opening that door for me. So let's talk about that a little bit. Raise your hand if you were one of those kids that was raised in the church. Practically born in the pew. That was me. If the doors were open, we were there. Mom played the piano at every single church. Brother played the drums at every single church that we were in. But that didn't mean necessarily that I felt the invitation to accept Christ in my life. Just because we went to church and we did all the things, that didn't necessarily automatically mean that that's how I felt about it. It was more of a family culture kind of thing for me as a kid. And this really changed one year at a summer camp. It was a Jesus camp. I was about 9 or 10 years old. And these adults at this camp, there were women who they really started to ask me questions and wanting to know me, really see me as a person. And as a kid, I hardly ever felt like that, especially as a child. And I got really attached to these women. And I really felt like God was pulling on my heartstrings. That this was a decision I needed to make, that I had come to that moment in my life. It wasn't just what I did with my family anymore. It truly was, oh wait, I need to accept this. This is what I want. This is what I can tell God is calling me to. So I shared with some of the camp leaders that year that I wanted to get baptized. And I wish that I could tell you that it was a pleasant day. I ended up having to go through this gauntlet of adults who were questioning me, and these were not the women that had been spending time with me. And I remember the last guy that I got to, he had literally had a clipboard, and he was, doing this over his clipboard, writing things down that I was saying and checking things off or whatever he was doing. And he was asking me questions, are you really sure? Do you really understand what you're doing? As if I felt like I was being, interrogated about a crime I didn't commit. And despite that, I persisted, and I was approved, to get baptized that day. And I got baptized in a lake with little fishies swimming between my legs, which is a fun part of that memory for me. But unfortunately, that day is kind of overshadowed by all those people who made me feel like I was questioning myself, oh, maybe I don't really know what I'm doing, or what I'm talking about. And I just want to encourage you today to think about that and think about invitation in this way. What are some of the ways that maybe you've been a barrier for other people? What are some of the ways that you have been a barrier for yourself? Invitation is more than just asking someone to go to the barbecue with you on a Saturday. It's more than come to worship with me on Sunday. It's really about opening ourselves up to each other and to Christ, and to making that possible for other people. Jesus says in Matthew 28, "Come to me all who are weary." All. A-L-L. It doesn't say only those who are wealthy, only those who've led a good life, only those that, love the people I think they should love. He doesn't say that. He says, "Come to me all." So I want to encourage you to think about the ways that you are making that opportunity available for yourself and for everyone around you, whether that's the postman, whether that's your brother that maybe you haven't spoken to in a long time, or yourself. Like I said, we can get in our own way sometimes. So I just want to encourage you on this day. It's beautiful outside when you're watching this, and just take a moment and ask yourself and ask the Lord to kind of reveal that for yourself. What are some of the ways that I've been a barrier, and how can you fix that? And how can you address that in your spiritual walk? God bless you, and we'll see you next week for Midweek Moment.